What's going on, everybody? Today I want to talk to you about how you can get your start in photography. Let's go. If you've been thinking about jumping into the photography world, you've seen all these killer photos on Instagram thinking, I want to do this. I think maybe this is something that would be interesting to me, but I don't know where to start. I don't have a fancy camera. I don't have fancy lenses. I don't have none of that. And maybe I'm a teenager, don't have a job, I'm broke, but I still want to do this. So what can I do to make that leap to start taking photos and start taking some dope shots? The answer to this question is actually remarkably simple. It starts with this. Now you might be thinking, okay, yeah, sure, I have my smartphone, but I see all these photographers out there with these big camera setups that are thousands and thousands of dollars, and I'm intimidated by that, and I feel like I need that to take that quality of photos. And while that gear does make your job easier, it's not at all necessary to take a good photo. It's the person behind the camera that makes a difference. The camera doesn't take the photo. So we all know smartphones these days have pretty powerful cameras in them. Now, while they may not be able to keep up to the demand of a lot of professionals full time, they can still take some pretty decent pictures, and they can teach you a lot about the basics of photography before you make that leap and buy your first full-fledged DSLR or mirrorless camera. And not only can you begin to learn the settings of a camera, you can also learn the basics of composition and what makes a good photo. And then you start to look for that more often. You can see that around you, and you just whip out your phone quick and think, oh, I gotta snap this quick because it's a killer shot. Like, it's so quick and easy and convenient, and you have it around you all the time, so you might as well make the most of it anyways. There's nothing really to lose there. You already have made that investment in the phone. It has a camera on it. You want to take photos? There you go. It's right there. It's as accessible as it gets. Okay, so we got the camera thing sorted. You got the camera in your back pocket. Now, where do you go from here? Well, look around your environment. See what's around you and visualize it differently. Think of it through the most creative lens possible, and then use that phone and capture it to the best of your ability. If you want to go take some landscape shots, if you live by a beach, or if you want to take some product photos, or even some portraits. The portrait mode, while it does have its quirks on a lot of devices, it can be pretty powerful. There would be landscapes, or even if you want to take some portraits, get some of your friends together and just take some great photos for life, because I mean, you can look back on those later and capture some really great moments. I mean, the possibilities here are almost endless, and the technology just keeps getting better and better. And from there, what I would suggest is share your work. Share it everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everything. Put it out there, and then you'll start maybe having some people notice. And then maybe you'll get better at it. And then you can save up, and if you decide to, take the leap and buy like a mirrorless or DSLR camera, and then really be able to hone your skills and play around with different lenses and settings and really figure out where you want to go with it, because this is an art form that can take you in so many places. Taking that first step, it can be scary and it can be challenging, but once you do that, if you enjoy it, you won't want to stop. Now, let's talk about maybe why you might be apprehensive of going down this road. A lot of us deal with this whole thing of imposter syndrome, thinking, oh, I'm not good enough. What's the point? Like, nobody's going to see these anyways, nobody's going to care, it's not going to be good. And maybe at the beginning, you might not be as good as you want, but with time you get better and you hone your eye, and sooner or later you'll start actually getting pretty decent, especially the more practice you put in. You get out what you put in. And on another point with that, even if nothing really comes of it, what's the loss there? I mean, you still have some great memories and moments, and maybe you got a couple dope shots along the way that you can share with your friends or look back on and think about that time in your life and remember fondly with a sense of nostalgia. And two, because it's more discreet, you might get away with being able to take photos that you wouldn't be able to regularly. I mean, I can say myself how many times I've been kicked out of various places because I'll have my fancy camera set up and then security will come over and be like, okay, what are you doing here? And then I'm like, okay, I guess I gotta go. And then we leave. Most of the time I always get the shot beforehand, so keep that in mind. But what I'm saying is it's so much more discreet and nobody's gonna bother you. You're just taking a shot on your cell phone. Who cares? Even if you have a model there. Oh, I'm just taking a picture of my friend. We're gonna send it to whoever. It's like, oh, okay, no big deal. Do your thing. Security doesn't care. You can get away with a lot more when you just have something that fits in your pocket that everybody has. They're not going to be worried about this big camera setup, thinking that you're being paid or some transactions going on where you need a permit and all this kind of stuff. It just flies right under the radar and you're able to get more shots that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. And another really important thing is you can start learning how to edit. There are tons of mobile apps that use the same fundamentals that other editing software uses anyways, like Lightroom Mobile, for example. Not sponsored or anything, that's just something that I use. You can adjust all the different things like exposure, saturation, contrast. You can split tone and adjust the hue of everything. You can understand how to get your images to look like other people's, and then by the time you're using like a big DSLR or mirrorless camera, you're able to understand already how to edit those photos to where you want them. And another thing too, a lot of these apps, they have the ability to shoot RAW. So that way, not only are you able to quickly make that distinction of what a JPEG is versus a RAW, and you can see the difference that edit makes and why it's so important, but also you can manipulate the image to be how you want it without the limitations of the compression of something like a JPEG. And sure, they might not be the highest quality in the world, but if you were to go into an entry-level camera, it wouldn't be either. The common smartphone is actually at the quality of a lot of these smaller point-and-shoot or entry-level cameras, to where there's no sense spending that extra money. Might as well save it, and then if you do decide to go this route down the line, invest in something that can really take you farther in your journey and you can use for years and years and grow and learn upon, and then keep upgrading as you go, as you need to. Let's say down the line you want to invest in a more serious camera setup. Well, you already have the basics down. You have the settings, you have composition, you know how to edit. All these majorly important things you've already taken care of. So it's just a matter of figuring out how this specific camera works and you're off to the races. In this day and age, there are advertising campaigns that are shot on phones, or even ones that are shot on not the most current camera setups. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. What comes down to it is you. You're the difference. So as soon as you change your mindset from I need this to be better, and instead think I can be better because it's within me, then you'll really make the change and you'll be able to take your photography to that next level. And you won't have anything holding you back. You won't be unsure because, oh, I don't have this camera, oh, I don't have that guy's camera, oh, I'm shooting with this brand or that brand. It doesn't matter. What matters is you, your voice, your unique eye. You can bring something different to this. That's why there's so many of us in here. Sure, it's a competitive market, but each of us is different. And that's what it is. We don't need to be better, we need to be different. And the sooner you start, the sooner you can figure out your style and what you like and what you want to put out into the world. So please, for me and for you, if you've been thinking about this, just go for it. There's nothing to lose. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. You know what, there's been a lot of smashing like buttons around, but I think that like button needs a little bit of love. So let's give that like button a hug. Let's just really embrace that. So give that like button a hug. Comment down below if this is the kind of thing you like to see, if you want to see more of this from my videos. And until next time, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when I post new videos, and I'll see you on the next one.